Sure. I mean, my question, Congressman, is about a lot of people in the Netherlands have said that in order to get a viable public option, that Democrats in the House should have supported first a single-payer system as a way of putting a certain debate in place. And that way, the public option would have been the middle ground, and it would have been a good place to gravitate towards. We're already into the debate, so my question for you is, what do you want to hear from us in order to make sure that a public option stays in the mix, that it has meaning, that it's not just an empty promise and co-op or whatnot? What do you need from bloggers in order to make sure that you can stand up and your colleagues can stand up and make that public option happen?
Well, this is a really important question. This is a pivotal moment on whether the country's going to go forward or just let the forces of the status quo and the cynics win the day. So this is a very important question for us right now in the whole country. What I want bloggers and bloggies to do is to hearken back how they felt at 11 a.m. on Inauguration Day on January 20th this year, when we felt this sense of tremendous hope. We had an inspirational president. We had a plan on how to move healthcare forward, and we thought the sky was the limit on what we could achieve in this country. Now, since that time, frankly, the forces of cynicism and fear have taken over the public discussion. We've seen that happen in town hall after town hall after town hall across America. And frankly, the millions of people who are on Inauguration Day, who had that sense of thrill, of potential, of hope, haven't been in those town hall meetings, haven't been in the congressmen's offices. And we've essentially ceded the ground to those who want the status quo to prevail with billions of dollars behind it. We need all of those folks, our friends, who felt so passionate on Inauguration Day, who went out to the Capitol Mall, who went to their friends and watched in parties on Inauguration Day, to realize that democracy is not a party. The Inauguration Day was not the end. It was the beginning of our efforts. And what we need today is for people who believe in a public option, as I do, who believe we need a robust public option, as I do, who believe a public option is important to create a competitor for the private market. They need to get off their couches, sometimes away from their computer screens, and go to these town hall meetings and make their voices heard in a civil way, of course. But it's very important that those voices be heard, because frankly, as a member of Congress, I will tell you something about congressmen and women. This is a little secret, but I'm going to tell you because you're a blogger. Members of the U.S. Congress are human beings, and they are affected by what they hear. And right now they're hearing only messages from people who are driven by fear and anxiety, who really are worried about change. And I understand fear and anxiety. They need to hear messages of hope and progress and confidence that this public option and the idea of healthcare reform in general is good for America. So I'm really hopeful, if anybody happens to hear my voice, the first thing they're going to do is go see where there's a town hall meeting of their member of Congress or their senator, and go to that meeting and speak what they think in a civil way to let Congress know what they think. If you believed in Barack Obama inauguration, get out there and believe in him in a public meeting and tell your congressman you believe in that. That's what's going to change this country.
I think that's an important message to hear from progressives in Congress, and I think that a lot of bloggers would be surprised to know that that is really the issue that's most on progressive congressmen's mind right
Sure.
now.
Our message, the mind is, where's our friends? Where's our friends? I'm seeing the people who are speaking out of fear and anxiety as town hall meetings, but where are my friends who believe that we can make positive changes, who believe that we can get people insurance even though they've got a pre-existing condition, who believe that if you've got diabetes you should be able to get insurance, who believe that if you lose your job you should be able to get insurance. If you believe these things, you need to tell your member of Congress that's what you believe. Then the U.S. Congressperson will be empowered and get a little boost of confidence. You know, we're social animals. We grow up in herds and flocks. It's the way the human being grew up in the cave around the fire. If nobody's around the fire helping you out, you may not get fed. So we need people speaking out.
Do you think that Republican congressmen are driving people out, or it's some other element? Is it just the media, as people say, or are Republicans in Congress who are using this tactic, are they connected in a way to their grassroots or their astroturf that gets them out there better than we do?
I think we who want to see this positive change make a mistake in sort of downplaying the sincerity of the people who are now going to town hall meetings and speaking loudly against healthcare reform. Those people are sincere. They are largely driven by their own beliefs and passions. Very, very few of them are sort of directed by some hierarchical order to go to XYZ address and say XYZ. 98% of them have strong feelings, and they're expressing them, and they have the right to do that. The problem right now is that those who hold views that I share, which is that companies should not be able to exclude you for a pre-existing condition. People ought to be able to get insurance in this country. We ought to find a way to provide value rather than volume in our medical care system. Those folks think Barack Obama can do it by himself. And those are the voices that we need to hear, not just town hall meetings and letters to the editor and comments on posts and discussions around the beer summits that we all have now that have been sanctioned by the president. People need to speak.
Good message.
Thank you.
Thank you, Congress.